Welcome back everyone to my Let's Play of Final Fantasy V Four Job Fiesta for Rabbit and Small Animals Rescue. Just want to show this door, yeah, it's locked. We can't get in from this side. We're going to have to find a different way to get in. I didn't do any grind in there because, as I mentioned in the last video, the experience those guys give is really lousy. Yeah, they give a lot of job points, but in the 4 Job Fiesta, you're limited to only 4 jobs, so it's going to be easy to pretty much max out your jobs and get all the skills that you need from them. So once you're ready to go, we're going to, like I said, we're going to head to Drakenvale to try to find dragon grass for the wind drake. Just go up and talk to any one of these 3 guards, doesn't matter which one, and they'll let you out and wish you luck. Once we get out there, Galuf's going to command the soldiers not to open the door for anybody, and that's going to kind of bite him a little bit later, but that'll be in a later episode. But yeah, so the guards are going to run back in, seal the gate, and we are going to be attacked by monsters! Actually, we're only going to get attacked by one monster, and he's going to look familiar, but his stats are a little bit different, so even on this cutscene, we see 3 monsters run up to us. We only got to fight 1. And it's our good friend, the Abductor. His stats, though, because there's 4 of us, his stats are a little bit higher. He has more hit points, has a higher level, but that ain't gonna matter much because he's, pretty easy, so. Especially with 4 of us. I mean, we were able to take him out with just RASAR on his own. So, I think he has an extra 1,000 hit points. Yeah, that's not gonna matter much. We're gonna change up our equipment a little bit here. We'll take the dancing dagger off of Lenna, because we'll be moving RASAR to the front row in a little bit. When we get to the next town, we'll be able to buy another good knife, and we'll supplement that other knife with the dancing dagger. Dancing dagger has a chance to procure one of the dances. There are several different dances. I think there's 4. There's sword dance, which does quadruple damage. That's the real good one you want. There's a mystery waltz, which I think takes hit points away from the character you're attacking, the enemy. There's tempting tango, which confuses the enemy. And then there's another one that, strange dance, that steals magic points away from the enemy. So that's the way that dancers, a job class in this game, attack rather than fight. But the dancing dagger allows a different character to basically use those dances. So we have that little frog there, the Cornigo. There's a little side quest up here that we can't complete because we don't have a Beastmaster. If you want to see how that side quest is completed, just look at my Fiesta run from last year. So we're going to get here to Quelb. This is the village of the werewolves. And looks like there's nobody around. So yeah, all these doors are closed. So we're just going to head up to the gate here to proceed with the story. But much like all the other doors in the village, this one is also closed. So we're going to head back to this big main house, and that's where Kelger is. He's the leader of this little town. And let's move RASAR to the front here, because we'll be getting ready to change him up a little bit, his equipment and stuff. So, and we just touch this door here, and then that'll be the sequence trigger for the next part. When you try to leave this place, these werewolves come out. They get the drop on us, no pun intended, and they block us out. So, Now this is a really dumb part, kind of in the game here. So, yeah, these werewolves, they mistake us as enemies, but they shouldn't really, because Galuf is friends with their leader. So he comes out, and now the werewolves made a dumb move. And now Kelger is going to make a dumb move too, so apparently Kelger is one of the, well, we saw him in a cutscene earlier, he's one of the 4 Warriors of Dawn, who, along with Galuf and those 2 other people, sealed Exdeath in our world. However, when he finds out that we are from the world where they sealed Exdeath, he kind of goes berserk. And he thinks that for some reason we're working with Exdeath, despite the fact that we came into this town with Galuf, who is obviously an enemy of X-Death. So, yeah, don't make much sense. So, but unfortunately, he doesn't respond to reason, and he decides to challenge RASAR to a one-on-one duel. Now, we don't actually get to fight Kelger. It's just like a little cutscene here what's going to happen. So, but yeah, so settle it at man-to-man or man-to-werewolf. So, they have a little fight here. And, at first, you know, like, you know, pro wrestling or a book, you know, the bad guy, or the non-hero gets the, because Kelger's not really a bad guy, he gets the drop on us. He gets the first thing and, creates some drama. He's beating up RASAR for a little bit, and then RASAR has to make a comeback, and that's what he does. He focuses, and he's like, oh, I got it. And then he, boink, he bumps Kelger and pushes him into the next room. So, but here we're going to learn a little bit more about RASAR, or more specifically, RASAR's father, Dragoon. So, and RASAR apologizes, although Kelger should be the one who is apologizing, because, you know, if he would have just listened to reason, none of this would have happened. So, but he's wondering, he's just like, how did you foil my attack? And he's like, oh, I learned that trick from my dad. He's like, well, who's your dad? And when he gives the name, Dragoon, Galuf and Kelger go, whoa, what's up? You know, they're crazy. They make a crazy face. And it turns out that Dragoon was one of the 4 warriors of Dawn. So, yeah. And then we have the 4th one there, Zizat Sergate. We'll learn about him in a little bit, but yeah. So it turns out that RASAR's father was actually from this world. So I guess that means the RASAR is half alien. So, and we get a little bit of story here. When the 4 Dawn warriors trapped X-Death here in RASAR's homeworld, Dragoon decided that he was going to stay behind to watch the seal. So, and the reason he chose to do that was, like, he's having reservations. He's feeling bad. He's like, you know, is it really right for us to seal this demon from our world, this evil warlock, in another world? And he eventually comes to the conclusion that, well, it's the only thing we can do, because X-Death, he just keeps reviving. No matter what the other, whatever the 4 do, X-Death just keeps getting back up and up. Like I said, it made them wonder, like, hey, is he immortal? So, they figure, hey, well, the only thing we can do is, despite his reservations, Dragoon's like, well, the only thing I can do is go along with the plan. So they use the 4 crystals to seal X-Death. And then we see the 4 crystal seals. We saw them break out throughout the game. Remember, after the wind crystal broke, there was only 3, and then after the water, 2, fire, there was 1, and so forth and so on. Now, when the earth crystal finally broke, we saw the last one disappear. So, yeah. Now we know how those little seals got there. The Warriors of Dawn used the crystals to seal X-Death. And this is where we learn that, you know, Dragoon decides, you know, hey, I should stay behind and watch the seal, you know. I guess he figures that's the least he can do for, you know, going along with the plan to seal X-Death in this world, his non-home world, so. So now we've officially met 3 of the 4 Warriors of Dawn. Or the Dawn Warriors, so. I'll probably interchange with what I say. So, yeah, small world. So, it's almost like it's destiny that RASAR's kind of taken up for his, after his father, so. And here's where he informs the others that, you know, yeah, unfortunately, Dragoon has passed away, so he got sick, but because we're, you know, Dorgan's son, he, you know, says he'll do anything for us, and we say, hey, just open up the gate to Drakenvale, and let us go up there because we need to get the dragon grass so that we can heal the wind drake, the hiryu. And now when we leave this place, this house, there'll be some villagers out there, and we'll get to learn, talk to some more, and learn a little bit more. And the house is also up, so we can buy a bunch of equipment and stuff. So look at all the werewolves running around. So yeah, they had to seal the gate because all the X-Death's minions were around. And no one's ever returned from Drakenvale. Uh-oh. It's a big monster's den. Unfortunately, none of the sheep here have names. There's no Flossie like in the History Village. Now, you don't need to stay at the inn here, at least for 3 times. I'm going to sell 8 potions here. It may not make much sense at first, but you'll see why I did that, so. And there's also see why I don't need to necessarily stay at the inn. So if we come to the back of the inn, there's this werewolf here at this table. If we talk with him, he says, hey, I made you some food. If we sit at this chair over here, he's going to come over and he's going to give us food. And after he gives us the food, he's also going to give us dessert. And the dessert is going to be 8 potions. So those 8 potions would have went to waste because we already had a max amount of 8 potions. Unfortunately, you can't keep doing this to get potions over and over and over again. Like I said, you can only do it 3 times. So in order to make it each time, we're going to kind of pass through this village three times. So we're only going to do it once every time we pass through. So talk with these werewolves. And so apparently that werewolf in the fire crystal was Zoo. And yeah, 3 years from this village. So now, that werewolf to the left there said that there's some strange voice in this well. And this guy pops out of the well, if we talk with the well, and he says, bring me a frog. So if we went outside and fought one of those Konago enemies, those orange frogs, and then you use the Beastmaster class to capture it, if you bring an enemy down to 1/8 of its max hit points, you can use the Beastmaster's command to capture it. And you capture one of those frogs, and then you come back here and you give him that frog. And then what he will do is he'll give you 10,000 gold, and then he'll also give you Konago jar, which means you with that accessory, all you have to do is, instead of reducing an enemy down to 1/8 of its max hit points, you only have to reduce it to half its hit points. So because we can't have a Beastmaster in our party, we won't be able to do that little quest. But thankfully that jar, it does not count toward the treasure completion, so the 100%. So, but sell some ethers. We ain't really using them because we only have 1 magic using class. And that allows us to buy a few more pieces of gear here. So we'll max out everybody's power by giving them the power clothes. See, it raises strength by 3 points, in addition to giving 2 more defense. So. Sell our old equipment. Yeah, money's still pretty tight here, but that 10,000 gear we would have got if we would have caught that frog would have been really nice to have, but oh well. There we go. We're gonna get some really good armor in the next well, it's kind of good armor in the next dungeon coming up, so. Alright. Looking over our equipment here. Looking pretty good. So, I was going to see if I was going to switch the power of the Elf Cave, because now that RASAR's in the front, but unfortunately, for some reason the Dragoon can't have the power armlet, so. And both RASAR and Faris will benefit more from the Elf Cave. So. Yeah, he's gonna have to flip it around. So, RASAR will be okay with the power thing, especially if the sword dance, if that works out. So, no one knows why the wind drakes died out. We're gonna find that out. So, before we leave the village, though, this is really, really important if you have a bard in your party. One of these werewolves will teach you this song. It's called Requiem. And what it does is it damages undead. It does a lot of damage to undead. It's going to be really important in a battle coming up soon. So if you have a bard, it's a really great thing for this area coming up. So, and I'll point out that battle specifically. So we're going to head up here. This is the Drakenvale, but we're going to make a quick save here because there's something really important here that we don't want to mess it up. So, but this is also something important. The story of Little Cotton, the rabbit. So he's a rabbit who was apparently bit people. And so we were surrendered to rabbit and small animal rescue. So, but apparently it looked like he might be biting because someone might have hurt him because he was very scared of people, especially when hands came near him. So, we'll learn more about his story at the end of this video. So here we are. We have this little mountain here, very similar to the North Mountain, where the dragon grass grew. So, in RASAR's home world. So. Looks like dragon grass grows on mountains. So when you come inside, you tend to run into these undead enemies here. The bone dragons. So this is where that Requiem spell is really, really good. Or that Requiem song is really, really good. So, and it's really good for another battle. I'll point that out, but being undead, they are weak to fire, so RASAR can throw the fire scrolls. Lenna can summon a Freet, boosted with the fire rod. So, Galuf can keep using his jumps. Too bad he doesn't have a flame spear, so that would be nice. It'd be nice to have some elemental weapons here. So he does have the wind spear, but I haven't gotten anything else yet. So yeah, the dancing dagger doesn't always prompt a dance. So I don't know what the exact percentage of a dance coming up is, but I'm just throw Galuf in the front row there. That way, if we need to just instead of jumping, do a small spear attack, he's able to do it without taking a penalty. Here's the other type of undead enemy in this area, the zombie dragon. A lot of hit points here, and almost double what the bone dragon had. And those high hit points that they both have, that's going to be a problem going into that one battle that I alluded to a little bit later. So, well, there's a mystery waltz right there. Unfortunately, because the zombie dragon is undead, we actually lost hit points there. That one's just steal hit points from the enemies, but because it's undead, hit point drainage is reversed. So instead of draining hit points, it took hit points. And we got these trippy enemies. These enemies are a good enemy to learn. There's another dance, the tempting tango. It confuses the enemy. So as long as we don't hit that enemy with that drippy with a physical attack, it'll kind of target itself right now. So one of the things this enemy can do is it can use a spell called Magic Hammer. It's another blue magic spell. So if you're running blue mages, you might want to wait a little bit until have this guy use it on you. Basically what that does is instead of damaging the hit points of an enemy, it steals their magic points. So if there's an enemy with a really nasty spell, you can drain its MP, so it can use that nasty spell on you. So heading back on inside here, get some treasure, try to make our way out, hopefully not getting an encounter, because I usually run into undead here. Those undead just take a while to beat, so. And here on the outside, so we run into these poison eagles. So, they don't have a lot of hit points, so if you have a thief, you can steal a pretty good bow off of them, but once again, we don't have a thief, so. Oh, there's a jitterbug. That steals hit points. Mystery Waltz must steal the MP, so. Antidotes up front. Okay. Yeah, let's head on around. Let's keep on exploring this little area. Oh, another cave to go in. Boink. That's a short little jaunt here. And when we get to this section out here, this is where we're going to kind of want to do a little farming, in a sense. Now, before we got to this point, we could have run into this enemy. Its name is just question mark, question mark, question mark. And it just basically appears, it hits you once, and then it runs away. So, I'll talk about him in a little bit. But we want to search the skeleton here first to get the bone mail. It's the strongest armor in the game, but it does have a negative penalty to it. What it does is it basically makes your character undead. So, RASAR now has the bone armor, so even though he has really good physical defense, he'll now have the weakness to fire, and he won't be able to be healed by white magic. Not really a problem with our characters, because we ain't using white magic, but he also won't be able to be healed by regular potions either, at least in battle. So that's why I gave him the chakra ability, so he can heal himself a little bit if he needs to. So you want to go in that door, hit that switch, and it opens up a little passageway out here. We go around here, through that door. And this is the screen where we want to end up fighting that enemy. So, here he is, he pops up, see? Question mark, question mark, question mark. He appears, he hits, and then he runs away. We could have met him, like I said, before this screen. But we definitely want to have the third fight with him on this screen. Because there's only one more outside screen after this, and I'm not sure if he's guaranteed to appear here. So he seems to have a good appearance rate on this screen. So before we head into that cave, here he comes again, boink, and he flees again. So boink. Yeah. Actually, it's not actually 3 times that you have to fight him. It's it can be a little bit more than that. So. But yeah, after a few fights with him, you'll get into a special fight with him. And that's the fight where the bard is like really good for him. So yeah, this is Golem if you're able to look at his stats. He has 2,500 hit points. That's an important number. So, well, let's keep wandering around here. Hopefully get into this fight. Whenever you want to get into a fight, you're not going to get into it. But yeah, eventually we're going to run into this fight where the Golem appears with the Bone Dragon and a Zombie Dragon. Now, this is the battle where the Bard is really, really good, because he can use that Requiem spell. And it'll damage the Bone Dragon and the Zombie Dragon, but it won't damage the Golem. Right now, this is basically a race. The Golem only has 2,500 hit points, and these other enemies are going to be attacking him. And we have to defeat these 2 enemies before they deal that amount of damage to them. And unfortunately, Galuf there just did a whole chunk of damage to him because he was supposed to target the Zombie Dragon, but the Zombie Dragon was defeated before he landed, so yeah, he hit the wrong target. So he had a 50-50 target, and of course he hit the wrong one. But thankfully we could throw like a potion and heal up the Golem. We'll throw a high potion on to heal him up here. But yeah, he will become a really important summon. So, like I said, you have to defeat these enemies before they defeat Golem if you want to get that summon. So, he's getting kind of low here on hit points. So, we're going to heal him up here a little bit. Now will give us a little bit more time. So, you want to focus your firepower on one of the characters. Try to take him out as quick as possible so you're cutting the damage in half. So, and then once he's by himself, just stop, and eventually he's going to go into a little speech. He's going to thank us for saving him. So, that's why I didn't want to use any, like, summons, because summons or those fire schemes, if we would have thrown them, they would have damaged the Golem. And we don't want to damage the Golem, because we want to have him survive that fight. So, but if he survives the fight, we get the item Golem, and he becomes another summon for us. So, yep, another level 3 summon there. And what the Golem summon does is he creates an earthen wall in front of you, and it basically absorbs, 2,500 points worth of damage. And you can summon him repeatedly throughout like a fight after the first initial earthen wall goes out. So he's really good against bosses that deal physical damage. It only works on physical damage, but for enemies that hit really hard, like remember that Kuzo beast, yeah, it'd be really good against him, so. But yeah, we're gonna get a lot of utility out of that spell, so. So we got a boss here coming up, so we're gonna, of course, pitch our tent, heal ourselves up, save our game, and this is what we'll pick up in our next episode. We're going to find out why all the Windrakes died out, and why the one Windrake that Galuf has, why it's afraid to come back here. So, but first, let's learn more about Cotton. So, yep, look at him now. 2.5 days at the rescue, and look, he's starting to be not afraid of people, because he knows that the people at Rabbit and Small Animal Rescues, they love animals, and they want to take care of them and give them the best life they possibly can. So, yep, animals can sense that, so he knows that he's going to be in a good place here. So, if you want to help support Rabbit and Small Animal Rescue, I've included a link to their homepage, where there's a link for PayPal, so just send it there, and any donation helps. Have a good day. Bye!